What it do, booming fam? It's your girl Netta back with another video. I'm showing you guys a crib bumper slash protector. This is what I'm going to show you how to sew today. So yeah, let's get right into it. The reason I'm going to show you how to sew this, and you're going to hear my baby in the background, he's beginning to talk, yay. I'm showing you how to sew a crib bumper is because there's a shortage. It seems to be a shortage. After I ordered mine from Amazon, they wasn't there anymore, and it's hard to find. So I figured this would be a great tutorial. So what you see now is a cushion that I got from Walmart. It is a bit thick for what I'm trying to do. However, I'm going to put a picture and a link to buy it, the right size thickness for your bumper. And if you want it thick, you can do that. But what I did with this is I decided to cut it straight down the middle, which wasn't that easy, but we made it work. So I cut it down the middle and I made a square out of it. So let me do that really quickly. While I'm speeding this up, I figured this would be the right time to ask you guys. Comment below if you have any questions along the way of this video about what I did, if you feel like I missed a step or explaining it. So comment that below. If you have any suggestions or anything you want me to sew, since I'm back on the sewing vibe. I know most of you guys follow me because of sewing. Comment that below. I would love to show you guys what to do and how to do things, and also, it perfect my craft at the same time. He's really laughing at his cartoon, y'all. But so yeah. So on this part, I want you guys to pay attention to how I flip my fabric. When you're sewing two fabrics together and it's going to be closed off, you want to make sure that the printed side is facing each other inside, right? So the inner, you see that? And then I'm going to flip my fabric so that the inside is in and then the back side is out. So on both sides, the back sides are out. That's because if you're closing off your edges, when you get to a certain point, you're going to turn your project inside out so that the printed part can show. Okay, that's very important. And so here you see me measuring my cushion on my fabric, and I did switch fabrics because I made a mistake on the other one. I didn't use a ruler for this. I just used my pen. You can use, some people use chalk, fabric chalk, and a marker, whatever you choose to use. You can use a ruler to get it more precise, but I just did it like this. And now I'm going to cut off the excess fabric so that it can, and I also leave a little bit extra. So those marks I made, I still gave like 2 inches of a margin or 2 inches more fabric on each of the 4 sides of the square, just for room for error, for anything, okay? So don't cut it directly on the line that you may draw or on a measurement. It'll just be better for you. You'll see. And remind you, sewing is trial and error sometimes. This is how you perfect your craft. So don't be scared of mistakes. Just make sure you have you some extra fabric, okay? So now I'm going to get ready to cut my ribbon. So you're going to see another picture pop up, and then I'm going to put a link in the description. I wanted a thinner ribbon, but like I said, I worked with whatever Walmart had for me at the time. So they had a thicker ribbon. So I would prefer a thinner ribbon like the one that actually is on the bed, the crib bumper that I bought. But it still works, right? And so you'll see me cutting my fabric, measuring it. You're only gonna cut 4 pieces, right? So you're gonna cut 4 good long pieces, not too long. And then you're gonna fold that in half. I wouldn't suggest making them out of 8 pieces, makes sense? Just because that'll be more for you to just make sure you keep in place when you're sewing. So I chose to just leave it as a whole, the 4 pieces as a whole. And I just folded each one. So it'll make 8 loose ends in total. Okay, so pay attention to this part. This may be the most confusing part out of the whole thing because it's a really simple sewing project. Because I face the printed fabrics in together, they're facing each other. And when I flip it out, it's going to be the printed fabric that way. And I'm going to close off the edges. You have to make sure the ribbon ends, and you're going to see when I lift up the fabric, are inside with the printed fabric. Okay? So I folded I folded one of my 4 ribbons. You see right there. And I placed it on the corner where I marked it at. And I put that down. That is so, and I know it sounds confusing now, but you'll see at the end. That is so when I actually flip my fabric back inside out, so the printed side can actually be on the outside at the end of the project, so will the ribbon, because the ribbon has to be on the outside for this project. So yeah, and if I had the time, normally I would use the pins. With the little cute bob, with the little cute round ball at the top. I would use pins. However, I didn't have the time, so I just went ahead and just, work with what I had and just did what I do. So I held that in place, and you're going to see when I start sewing, because I'm just making sure that it makes sense. You see me keep double checking, making sure that it's laid out flat so it doesn't get sewed into any part that it doesn't need to. So yeah. Okay, so now it's time to sew. So as you've seen, I put the ribbon in one of the ribbons, and I'm going to start off with that corner. I'm going to sew the whole thing. I'm going to follow my little corner line that I made for the measurements. And then I'm going to go all the way around my fabric in a square, of course. So I'm going to follow the dotted lines. I'm going to go all the way around. Make sure you lock your stitch every so often when you're sewing. But I'm going to sew all the way around until I get to one side left. There's one side that you don't sew close, and you're going to see what I mean. So here I am. I'm approaching another corner. So I'm going to add my second ribbon, My second ribbon. I'm going to fold it, and then I'm going to put it in that corner spot, and I'm going to put it in there diagonally. Make sure it's straight out. Make sure it doesn't get sewed into any other part. And then I'm going to sew around that corner with the ribbon on it inside, in between the fabrics, as you can see. And yeah, so that is the second ribbon that I'm using so far. The first one I started off with, and this is the second one. So that's one whole side that's sewn out of the 3 sides of the square. So as you can see now, I'm basically turning my fabric. I'm going to lift the foot up a little bit with the lever and turn it so that I can get that nice, corner going. And so, yeah, and make sure my fabric is straight. Make sure the ribbon is laid down so that it doesn't get sewn into something that it's not supposed to. I keep saying that because that was very important for this. So yeah, once I turn the project around to the next side, I'm going to sew that side. Remember, don't forget to lock your stitch every so often. So I'm going to sew that side straight down. And then I'm going to wait till I get to the other corner. And you don't wait till you get right on top of the corners. You got to stop a little bit before because the foot is kind of long itself, the sewing foot. So you're going to make sure that you have enough room so you can insert your ribbon like I'm doing now. This is my third ribbon that I'm inserting, so that it can be put into the project. And then I have one more after that. So as you can see, I'm taking my fourth and final ribbon, folding it, and I'm putting it in the final corner. And I done sewed 3 of the sides of the 4 squares, right? I done sewed 3 of the 4 sides so far, and I'm leaving 1 open. However, the most important part for this part is to remember that after you round the corner, right? So I'm putting the ribbon there for the corner of it. So I'm going to sew the corner. I'm going to lift my feet up a little bit just to turn my project so that I can continue sewing straight. It's important to know that you have to, even though you're going to leave this last side open, you have to sew it down a little bit. The reason being is because if you were to take it off of the sewing machine like I did, and you're going to see me make that mistake, and I'm going to explain it to you as I'm doing it too. You won't have the corner. The project won't make sense when you actually take it off to put the cushion in, take it off to shape it and get it ready for the next and final stage, which is closing the fourth side up, right? So yeah, as you can see, I locked my stitch after I turned the corner and I'm taking it off. However, it was not done yet, and you're going to see that very soon, which is now. So I'm basically going to turn my project inside out. That's why you had to leave one of the sides open so that you're able to do that. And you see the ribbons coming out. That's how it's supposed to look. Everything is good so far until, and you'll see I'm popping out the corners. Corner. Cool. I'm satisfied with this. However, when I get to this top part of it, the shape is weird, and that's because I didn't follow through with going down a little bit. So even though you're going to leave that fourth side open, you have to sew in it a little bit, if that makes sense. Like you have to sew like 2 inches of it, not the whole thing, but just 2 inches, so that you can finish that corner off so that the square makes sense. So there's not you trying to put the shape together when you don't have to. That's where the confusion part come in at. So as you can see, doing that, I went ahead and took my little cushion and I still put it in, and you'll see me struggling once I put it in to even like get that fourth corner to cooperate with everything. You see how that corner is like open and it's like a little bit different than everything. But let me go ahead and show you. So I'm putting it in. And of course, if you're only leaving a little bit of the fourth side that you need open, then you're going to have to fold the cushion a little bit, do a little taco fold just so when it goes in, it opens back up and you flatten it out. It's a-okay. So as you can tell, here I am trying to fix this corner, which didn't need to even be like that if I just sewed a little bit more, like an inch more in or 2 inches. So it wasn't working out for me. The cushion fit the fabric because I measured it how I did. The ribbons are outside. That's how it's supposed to be. However, this was giving me a problem. So I realized, oh, and you'll see me pick up, and let me just let it continue so that I can talk in real time. I'm telling you before we even get there. But what I did was I'm like, oh, I'm supposed to sew in a little bit further so that I wouldn't have to do it like this because it looks a little bit confusing. It looks like I sewed it off, of course, or something. So you see me looking, trying to get it right. I'm like, what's going on? But yeah. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to pick up the bumper that I actually bought to just see what's the problem. Like, what am I missing here? And it's okay to do that when sewing new projects. Just because, you know, something you might have missed something, a very important step. And just by looking and observing it, you'll be able to fix that step. So you see me trying to fold that in? Yeah, no, it was giving me a problem. Okay, so here I am showing you how the project, how the one I bought was. So you see how the middle part of the fourth side is what they sewed together on the outside, but they came in on either side of that in order to make sure you got your corners correct. So now I realize that I'm missing a step, or I didn't sew all the way. So I'm taking the cushion back out to go ahead and do that. So I have to take the cushion out, turn the fabric back inside out, as you can see. And you remember me telling you about this stuff earlier? Like, it did sound and look confusing at first, but it makes sense once you actually think about, okay, so how is this going to look when I, you know, how am I supposed to? So, yeah. So now I took the cushion out and I'm going to fix the side that I messed up on. And I'm going to go ahead and complete the sewing part so that at least sew 2 inches in so that I'll be able to have that full corner. And all I have to do is fit the cushion in and then sew up the middle part of that side. So, yeah. So with that being said, just know that we all make mistakes when it comes to anything, something that we've been doing for a long time and something that we've been doing for a short amount of time. So don't get discouraged. So yeah, I started sewing that part. I'm getting off the excess thread. However, when I started sewing, I realized that my thread had became unthreaded, so I had to thread my machine again towards the bottom. And if you need to know how to thread a machine, a Brother XM270 machine, I do have a video of that on my YouTube channel, so you can always go to that along with some other videos. So we're back. I finally get to sew those 2 inches of that fourth side, not the whole side, remember, because we do have to have that opening to turn our project back inside out. I locked my stitch, lifted my foot up, and getting off the excess thread and cutting that off. So cool, that is done. And then now it's time to turn my project back. What, outside in, inside out? You know, back to the printed side. Now that every corner has been sewn, and on the fourth side, both corners are sewn at least 2 inches in, so you only have 3/4 of that side open in the middle, open for you to turn your project inside out or outside in, however you want to say it, like I'm doing now. And now I can place my cushion in. So I'm going to let you guys see that part, and then we're on to our final part, you guys. We're almost there. All right, so cool. The cushion is back in. All the ribbon sides are out. The corners are great. Nothing's looking funky. So to the last part, the 3/4 of that opening on the fourth side, you're gonna fold both pieces of fabric. So you're gonna fold the top piece like I'm doing, and you're gonna fold the bottom piece, and then you're gonna sew that together. I don't even know how the best way to explain it. You know what I mean? But yeah, you fold the top piece in, and you fold the bottom piece of fabric in, and then you're gonna sew those two folded parts together. It's gonna make like let's say like two lips pressed together, you know, your mouth. So say if you press your lips together, that's what it's gonna look like I'm showing you. See right there. There we go. And so yeah, you sew that together and make sure you get it, as close as possible. Make sure you get both fabrics together so that it's not separating. You have to keep going over it. And I'm out of breath, you guys, but that is pretty much the end of it. So you're gonna see that happen. I just want to say that if you have any questions about any steps that I explain, please comment below. I'll be more than happy to re-explain or better explain or answer your questions, period. Like I said, what made me want to make this video is because I seen that there was a shortage of baby bumpers. I'm like, oh, maybe I can sell them, or maybe I can show people how to make them. And I would love to always know how to make something, so that's what I decided to do. This is me. I just cut off the excess thread and voila, pushing that sewing machine back because I feel so accomplished. I just make sure I go around and get all the excess threads from around each corner. But yeah, this project made me happy. And I'm going to show you guys a comparison between them both. And just know that, remember that I told you there's a better type of cushion for you to get, one that's less thick, so you don't have to spend time cutting down the middle of the fabric and in between or whatever. But yeah, I think I do like that. And this is my man giving me a high five. But I do like the thicker fabric a little bit, just not too thick. Because yeah, my baby be going from side to side. But you see that? Pretty much the same thing, just smaller, and the ribbons are bigger. But I also told you that I would rather use a small ribbons, but this is what, I was able to get at the time, at a moment's notice from Walmart. This is all they had left. But so yeah, and you see how I'm tying it? That's how you tie it around your crib. And yeah. If this helped you and you enjoyed the video, please go ahead and like and subscribe if you're not already subscribed. And welcome to the family. You know what I mean? And at this point, I'm just admiring my work and showing you guys what it looks like and what the other one was looking like. But I won't hold you no longer. I hope you enjoyed the video, and peace out.